It was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
I was called in to do the night shift, 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. at 7-Eleven.
I was called in to do the night shift from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. at 7-Eleven.
Since somebody called out.
Since somebody called out.
The store was located on a busy road in a rather quiet and rural area.
The store was located on a busy road in a rather quiet and rural area.
During the night shift, you could expect anywhere from 10 to 20 people.
During the night shift, you could expect anywhere from 10 to 20 people come in
To buy a beer or something else.
to buy beer or something else.
This one particular night, there was this one guy.
This one particular night, there was this one guy,
mid-20s, that came in.
Mid-20s were coming.
He started making weird noises,
He starts making weird noises like
loud yelling noises.
loud yelling noises.
I assumed he had some kind of mental disability.
I assume he had some kind of mental disability.
In fact, my brother has a mental disability, so I immediately felt sympathy for the guy.
In fact, my brother has a mental disability, so I immediately felt sympathy for the guy.
He walked up to the counter without any items, with his head facing me.
He walks up to the counter without any item, with his head facing me.
He walked up to the counter without any items, with his head facing me, but his eyes were looking up at the ceiling.
But his eyes were looking up at the ceiling.
I felt uncomfortable.
I felt uncomfortable.
I honestly didn't know how to deal with it.
I honestly didn't know how to deal with it.
I tried speaking with him, but he only responded in loud noises.
I tried speaking with him, but he only responded in loud noise.
I kept checking if he was with someone outside, but he was alone.
I kept checking if he were with someone outside, but he was alone.
There weren't any cars in the parking lot, so I assumed he walked.
There wasn't any car in the parking lot, so I assumed he walked.
He stood there for so long, looking up at the ceiling and making noises.
He stood there for so long looking up at the ceiling and making noise.
That I tried to get him out by...
Thus I
stood there for so long, looking up at the ceiling and making noises, that
I tried to get him out by
handing him a bag of chips and telling him he can go.
handing him a bag of chips and telling him he can go.
I tried finding some kind of number to call for someone to help him. He can go.
I tried finding some kind of number to call for someone to help him.
Then, out of nowhere, he finally turned around and walked out of the store.
Then, out of nowhere, he finally turned around and walked out of the store.
I felt so horrible for the man, but at the same time, I felt a bit creeped out. Horrible for the man.
I feel so horrible for the man, but at the same time, I felt a bit creepy out.
About an hour later, the phone on the counter rang.
About an hour later, the phone on the counter rang.
I picked up to hear the familiar yelling sounds of the man from earlier.
I picked up to hear the familiar yelling sound of the man from yesterday.
It caught me off guard.
It caught me off guard.
I didn't know what to think, other than this has to be some kind of prank.
I didn't know what to do think other than this has to be some kind of prank.
I hung up on them and was now becoming paranoid of my surroundings.
I hang up on them and were now becoming paranoid of my surroundings,
Constantly checking the outside through the
constantly checking the outside through the window.
windows. Come 4 o'clock,
Come 4 o'clock,
the person working after me came in,
the person looking after me came in,
finally allowing for me to go home.
finally allowing for me to go home.
It wasn't my problem anymore.
It wasn't my problem anymore.
I got home and threw all my stuff on the table, ready to get to sleep.
I got home and threw all my stuff on the table, ready to go to sleep.
But my phone rang within a minute after entering the door.
But my phone rang within a minute after entering the door.
I felt a chill run down my spine.
I feel a chill runs down my spine.
Why would someone be calling at 4 a.m.?
Why would someone be calling at 4 a.m.?
I could only imagine it was bad news.
I couldn't only imagine it was bad news.
I braced myself and picked up the phone to hear the man again.
I braced myself and picked up the phone to hear the man again.
I felt sick to my stomach as I listened to the loud noises he made.
I felt sick to my stomach as I listened to the loud noise he made.
I struggled to slam the phone to the receiver.
I struggled to slam the phone to the receiver.
All night I felt like I was being watched.
All night I felt like I was being watched, even with all of the blinds shut.
Even with all the blinds shut. And I could swear I heard strange noises coming from all over my house.
And I couldn't swear. I hear strange noise coming from all over my house.
I refused to get any sleep until the sun came up. My house. I refused to get any sleep until the sun came up.
I refused to get any sleep until the sun came up.
Weeks passed and I had forgotten about the incident.
Weeks passed and I had forgotten about the accident.
Until one day, when going into the basement for the first time in a while,
Until one day, when going into the basement for the first time in a while.
One day, when going into the basement for the first time in a while, I found that papers had been scattered all over the floor.
I found that paper has been scattered all over the floor.
And when I went into the basement closet,
And when I went into the basement closet,
I found writing on the wall.
I found writing on the wall.
7-Eleven had been written in Sharpie on the wall.
7-Eleven has been written in stripe on the wall,
along with the address to the 7-Eleven I worked at and my house address.
along with the address to the 7-Eleven I worked at and my house address.
The most disturbing part.
The most disturbing part.
I also found various kitchen knives, along with a large pocket knife sitting in the closet.
I also found various kitchen knives, along with a large pocket knife sitting in the closet.
Various kitchen knives, along with a large pocket knife sitting in the closet, which started out as seemingly just an innocent person.
What starts out as simply just an innocent person,
turning into something of a prank, ultimately turned into something much more horrifying,
and ultimately turned into something much more horrifying.
He had been living down there for God knows how
He had been living down there for God knows how long.
And I'm just grateful that, for whatever reason,
And I'm just grateful that, for whatever reason,
he changed his mind and left.
He changed his mind and left.
Because I haven't seen or heard from him since.
Because I haven't seen or heard from him since.
All I can say is that man is dangerously ill.
All I can say is that man is dangerously ill.